Hi, Rhiannon and Sophie. Thanks for joining us. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
My name's Rhiannon Mackie. I'm a student environmental and climate advocate. I work nationally and internationally on engaging young people in environmental and climate policy spaces, advising as a young person on a bunch of different general climate activism campaigns.
And I'm Sophie. I'm from the beautiful Kāpiti coast, and I'm currently sitting at the Kāpiti Coast District Council table as the Paikakiriki Ward elected member. I'm also a climate activist, both around the table and kind of out on the streets, I guess you could say. And alongside a whole bunch of amazing young people, coordinated the School Strike for Climate movement back in 2019. Just trying to do everything I can, my little bit, to ensure that we have a livable and sustainable world to pass on.
So what do you find the most frustrating thing? What gets you motivated to act?
The most frustrating thing for me is that we are alive within this golden window of opportunity, and yet we still haven't realised it yet, it feels like. And we still continue to think that business as usual is going to save us when it's what's dug us into the hole that we're in. And so what really frustrates me is that something as common sense as that and as simple and as principled as that cannot be understood by the people who can understand the most technical of information and data. And so we've got this like real separation between also the words that people say and the signals that people send, and then the actual practical things we see people doing on the ground. We know we need to reduce emissions now. We know we need to plant trees now. We know that we need to kind of plug that gap and get in there and make the changes required. But the fact that this window of opportunity is passing us by, it worries me, but it also gives me hope to keep going, because I want to spread that word.
And the fact that we have all of the solutions that we need already to address these crises, and they're there and they're being actioned by civil society, and what we really need is for business and government to come along and support and uplift these practices to a wider policy level, enhance the capacity of our civil society to make change, and we're not seeing that. I really want to make sure that our young people in future generations don't grow up being told that their voices are only important for a PR opportunity. I want them to feel like their voices matter and are really being listened to and acted on beyond just, words that have very little action behind them.
This crisis is so big, it's almost overwhelming. What's something that young people can do now to start taking action?
Well, I think it's a valid question, but we also have to not only kind of ask what young people can be doing and what young people should be doing. I think there's a responsibility on all of us. The majority of our elected members across New Zealand are, over 50, if not beyond. So there's kind of a real responsibility, I think, to just keep us in mind and create space for us. Go further, challenge your kind of normal way of considering what engagement looks like. And for young people too, I think that looks like building collectives to raise our voices and making sure that we're not only demanding a seat at the tables where these decisions are being made, but actually creating our own tables and inviting people to our tables.
But not just building new communities, but building on communities that are already there. The environment as a concept is nothing when we don't consider ourselves part of it. So we need to be bringing other aspects of our communities into environmental spaces rather than creating new spaces with the same people, because everyone has their own niche within this space, and that will depend on their abilities and their capacity, but also what they enjoy, what brings them hope, what gets them out of bed in the morning that's not purely an environmental perspective on things.
100%.
And making sure that we're building communities around these things, around joy and hope and collective action and solidarity with one another, rather than solely focusing on we've got to bring our emissions down, because that's great, we know we need to do that, but then what comes next? How do we rebuild a society that cares for itself, cares for one another, cares for the planet?
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think if anyone's lost with where to start, just start somewhere. Just have a conversation. Like, see if someone else is willing to, head out to the beach and collect some rubbish, or if someone's willing to go and do some weeding down at, a local wetland, or if someone's willing to head out and plant a tree. Like, that doesn't take long, doesn't take a whole lot of resource. All you need is either yourself and someone else if you want a buddy to go with you. Like, it's something as simple as that can sometimes kind of spark something a whole lot greater. So if anyone's stuck as to where to start, I would say, yeah, have those conversations and just get out there, because when we're asked, like, what advice would we give to someone who wants to reduce their own footprint, it's like, I think everyone actually knows what we each need to be doing to reduce our footprint. It's actually already kind of common knowledge. And so what we need to do is just get on and do it.
Sophie, what's it like being a young person on the City Council?
I'm pretty excited. It's always a nerve-wracking moment though, because I'm the only one this time under 50 and I'm 21. So last time around I had a 40-year-old sitting at the table as well, which felt a bit closer in age, but a lot of them joke that they could be my grandparents just about. And yeah, it's just, yeah, sometimes you feel like a bit of an imposter, but then you just remind yourself that actually, like, why do I have to be the one that kind of burdens that feeling, when I have just as much of a right to be involved with these conversations as do young people right across New Zealand. And it's time that we actually, show that we're capable of taking that space and actually go and take it.